Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you had a gobbly turkey day, and I hope that maybe the gobbledygooker came over and said, "What's up?" Welcome to your 5-minute focus, and this one will not be 5-minute focus. It probably won't even be a 10-minute focus. It'll probably be a little bit longer because I am joined with my buddy, my partner, my compatriot, Jeff the Huffman. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a great Thanksgiving. I ate goose instead of turkey. It was a good day.
Nice, nice. Watch some football?
I did. Yes, I did. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
fucking Bears.
yeah, I liked Cutler's interception at the end there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Football videos don't do shit for me on this channel. So, we are here today, my friend, because an explosive 2-hour interview has been released with CM Punk. His tell-all, his I speak out finally. Now I'm going to let you go ahead and comment first because I've got a lot to say.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say first.
I'm about to get just skinned alive by all the Punk lovers and stuff out there. Look, I'm a Punk guy. I'm from Chicago. I like CM Punk. I think he's one of the top 10 superstars in the history of wrestling. I think he's fantastic. I really do. However, this 2-hour interview, which admittedly I couldn't get through all of it. There were points I had to be like, oh my God. It came off as one long 2-hour fucking whine fest. He comes off so bad in this interview to me. He like a goddamn baby. And it drives me fucking nuts. He is an elitist. He is a fucking straight edge guy, which if you know anything about straight edge people, most of them are fucking douchebag, elitist assholes. And that's what he comes off on it. And I'm going to start with my first point, and then we can kind of go back and forth from there. He states numerous times that, basically, oh, good on him. He could have sold this interview for so much money and done a shoot video and made a bunch of money off of it, but he didn't because he's not that type of guy. What did he do? He didn't get money for it. He goes on his friend's fucking podcast to get publicity, not publicity, and he goes on to a podcast with one of his best friends where he's not going to get answered any hard questions, where he's not going to have to fucking tell both sides of the story, where he's going to be able to filibuster and just talk about Phil. Oh, how things affected him. He didn't have to fucking ask for a bunch of money to go on, I don't know, JR's podcast. Oh, because they don't have a fucking relationship, right? He could have went on JR's podcast. He could have went on Stone Cold's podcast and not asked any money. I'm sorry, I have a whining dog in the background.
That would have been something to see, him and Stone Cold.
Right? It would have made sense. It would have been something that would have built off of things, and he could have just went and been asked real questions. But instead, he was lobbed softball after softball by fucking Colt Cabana, who, by the way, you indie fucks out there, Colt Cabana is so great, he should be in WWE. No, he shouldn't. Colt Cabana has had the career that he should have fucking had, and nothing fucking more. The guy would have never survived. He would have never have gotten over in the WWE. He wouldn't have got over in WCW back in the day either. The guy he has had the career he should have fucking had. All you fucking whiners out there talk about Colt Cabana and all these other fucking CM Punk buddies, go fuck yourself because I'm tired of it. What do you think so far?
That was a nice little rant there.
Oh, it just started.
No, I didn't feel he needed to state the fact that he didn't take money for it.
Yeah.
That was kind of a douche move.
Douchey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay to go on your friend's podcast to help them out.
Yeah.
But it's not okay to go on your friend's podcast to help them out while stating, look, I didn't take money for this interview. Fuck you. Fuck you, Phil. Jesus Christ. Now, I totally meant to come on here and not, blast him this much, but it's kind of coming out of me, and I'm not meaning to. Because
no, go ahead.
I do like the guy.
Oh, I love the guy.
And there's a lot of... Look, there are some good points that he made during his interview. something you were talking about earlier, which I would love to hear your opinion on, is his injury stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You made a point of that, like where you feel that was some of the strongest things that he said.
Right. That was the big thing for it. Like they really wouldn't let him heal up. They just kept throwing him back in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he also said a couple of times it was on him that he went back. He didn't say no.
Yeah.
I'm staying home and I'm getting better.
Yeah. See, my problem with that part of the interview is what he said was that injuries are the biggest reason why he left, which is not true to me. I don't feel that's true.
I don't either. I think that played a pretty decent part in it.
Well, sure, but here's the thing. From what we know of CM Punk, this guy does not get pushed around by people. He doesn't get told what the fuck to do. If he's hurt, he has taken time off in the past. He has healed up. And we know from other superstars, big stars like John Cena, Batista, Mark Henry, Edge, when they have needed time, when they have been legitimately, seriously injured, they have had Daniel Bryan, for fuck's sake. One of the hottest guys in the fucking industry. He may never wrestle again, and you don't see him crying about how WWE's pushing him back in, because it doesn't fucking happen. I don't believe it for a second. And especially when it's about a guy like CM Punk, because CM Punk is, he's a tough guy. He's not gonna get bullied around, but he wants us to believe that in this instance, he was bullied to getting back in the ring early. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a second.
He also said in the interview that he's not the easiest person to deal with, and he knows that.
Yeah. He talked out of both sides of his mouth a bunch of times during the interview, and because there were some times where I was like, okay, he made reference to this and about his discrepancies, but then he goes right back on the attack on the other side of it, and I'm like, wait a second, you just said that you're not the easiest person to live with. Another thing that I hated, he talked about the doctors and that they have a joke of a concussion protocol and all of this stuff. This is the thing that confused me. He stated that he was able to pass the concussion protocol test without even trying. He wasn't even paying attention. If that's the case, one of two things happened. A, he never had a fucking concussion, which is possible. Or B, or two, if I was going by numbers, I can't remember. Maybe I have a concussion. That maybe the WWE's concussion protocol really is shit.
It's probably just for image.
Yeah, but from what I understand it, from other things that I've heard about the concussion protocol, it's very similar to what the NFL does. It's very similar to the impact testing. It's not that different, if it's different at all. And I've never heard anybody else in the coming out and state, past or present superstar, talking about having a problem with that specific test. Okay.
Well, think though too. Like there's not many people who go back. I'm losing track of my words here. Let's try this again. He said that there's not that many guys back there who will speak up, like say what they're feeling.
Yeah.
Other than him, Cena, and maybe Orton.
Yeah, but is that on management or is that on the individual?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe
a little bit of both. Like I think, was it him? Yeah. He also said that a bunch of guys coming in, like they love the business. It was their dream job. It's like, oh, I better not say this. I want to keep my job. I better shake this guy's hand.
But isn't that political stuff in in the corporate America, in every goddamn business? You have to fucking play that game to an extent. So I don't understand the relevance of that when he's crying about it the way he did. Well,
yeah. Well, I know I believe that if he thinks he's being wrong, he's gonna speak up about it.
Yeah, you would think so. And here's the thing on the concussion thing, he states that they wanted to hold him out. They wanted him just to go run the ropes. They didn't really want him to compete, and he was like, "No, fuck that. I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna go and compete." Isn't that on him? I mean, isn't that on him?
Oh yeah. He said. I mean, he said a couple of the times it was on him.
Yeah, I just don't understand if he's gonna say that, why he continued to go on about it.
Yeah, he said I know I'm good. I can work. Yeah. I'm not running the ropes.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to get into, simply because it's the most entertaining thing ever, is he took a lot of shots at Ryback.
Yeah.
He really did. He went after Ryback hard, and I found it very funny. And
It was pretty funny.
But here's the thing. Basically, everything he said about Ryback hurting him was probably true. We saw the big botches. We saw him land him on the table that awkward-ass way.
Botch back.
We've seen it. Ryback, especially when he was thrust into that main event storyline with him a few years ago.
They just threw him in there.
He was green. He was very, very green. And some people would say he's still very green. I don't think he's as green as he was.
I mean, also too that's not entirely on Ryback. I mean, think of the countless weeks he had facing, dudes who are like 5'2", weighing 110 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah. And, looking back at some of the spots that he had with Punk too, it just seemed like sometimes things happen. And, yeah, is it unfortunate that they happen to Punk? Yes. But here's the things. He had this one great quote where he said, he told a story after the table incident where he goes back and he goes to Ryback and he said, first he said that Ryback took 20 years off of his life. How fucking douchey and overdramatic is that, for one? But he goes to Ryback.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was grinning when he said that.
Yeah, I know, right? So he goes to Ryback after the table botch, and he says, either you're doing this on purpose and you suck, or you're dumb as fuck. Which is it? And he said that Ryback replied in a dejected tone, I'm dumb as fuck. I don't fucking believe that for a second. I
wouldn't put it past Ryback to say that's not what he said, just in a different tone.
There's no way that he was like all dejected and subservient and like cowtown and be like, I'm dumb as fuck. I don't believe it for a second. I just don't. It doesn't seem like the Ryback type of thing. I don't believe it. He also goes on to say that he's a steroid guy and all of that. And yes, he was suspended for 30 days in 2006 for a violation of WWE's wellness policy. Which he did blame on something else. He said it was over-the-counter supplements, which might be true, it might not. We have no idea. Look, a lot of things that he's saying about Ryback just coming out now and stating just seem douchey and crybaby-ish, and it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, he's not in the company now. He's more than likely not going to say that while he's there.
No, but you can call. There are conversations that you can have, and there are ways to sandbag somebody. Shawn Michaels did it to fucking John Cena at WrestleMania.
I have to go back and watch that match because I remember, I believe it was you talking about that, where he was screaming at Cena during the match.
You could hear and see Shawn Michaels scream at Cena during a main event match at WrestleMania. I mean, there are ways to get your point across, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know. For him to come out and do this shit now, when Ryback is getting pushed again, things that Cena is saying could affect Ryback in a lot of ways. Some douchebags who believe everything CM Punk are going to say, they're going to go to these events, and during Ryback's fucking matches now, when he's getting a push, that everybody complains that new guys don't get pushes. Well, he's getting one. Now people are going to go fucking chant CM Punk during his matches, and it's going to kill momentum for him, and that just seems vindictive and fucking small and bullshit, and I can't stand it.
I mean, he really didn't have to do that. I mean, he already gets CM Punk chants when a match sucks.
Yeah.
Or two, when his wife comes out.
Whenever his wife comes out, I agree. And I don't see how this interview can benefit her. It also lends credence to the possibility that she is leaving the company. If he would have the balls to come out and say this now, maybe she's leaving. I don't see why he would do it knowing she was going to be around for another year. So maybe that's a possibility that she's gone.
I think it's kind of 50-50 whether she stays or goes.
The whole thing with the Bellas is actually kind of getting interesting, so I would hope that she does stick around.
Yeah, maybe Bree's got a hidden lesbian side.
Let's be honest.
That was good.
What I loved about the Ryback thing was Ryback's response, and I'm going to put up this picture right now that this is so good. He tweeted out, Happy Thanksgiving, and he tweets this picture out. Now, if you can't make it out, it's a bunch of Ryback action figures standing Staying in a circle around basically a broken CM Punk doll that's
Through a
gone
ta-
through a table. It is so fucking great. And he also released this statement. I'm going to leave that up for a second while I read this statement. He released this statement as well. This is what he tweeted out. He goes, "For the record, I don't quit for being fragile and insecure. No, I'm sorry. For the record, if I quit for being fragile and insecure, I would make up excuses too. Things didn't go my way for a long time, and I kept going day in and day out. Slander is a powerful thing, and to state complete made-up nonsense for no reason shows his insecurities. I will continue to bust my ass, study matches every chance I get, cut promos while driving, and push myself for hours, and even when hurt, thank you." I love that.
that
love
was good.
It's a
That was-
good
that was good.
response. It's a real good response. And WWE they made a response too, but the only thing that they focused on was all of the things that Punk said about their wellness program and their doctors, in particular the concussion protocol. They defended it. Other than that, they didn't say shit.
I think though too, Ryback said that he hasn't had things go his way,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stick up for Punk here just for a second. I mean, he said he basically left, one, because of injuries, and two, he just got fed up with things. Him not getting stuff he thought he should have rightfully earned. I don't like to use the word deserve. I hate when people say they deserve something.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate that. Nobody deserves anything. You earn what you get, and if you don't think you haven't earned the stuff that you thought you've earned, then you can speak up about it,
Yeah.
which I believe he did, and just got fed up with it and took his ball, went home. Just like, screw you guys.
I think the injuries played about 20% into why he left. I think an 80% reason, the biggest bulk of why he left, is because he did not get his way with WrestleMania. He wanted to be the fucking main event. He didn't get the main event the year before when he was, they gave him the consolation prize of The Undertaker, which is not a bad spot to be in, and it probably was.
He didn't say that was a bad spot either.
No. But it probably should have been the last match on the card because it was the best match that night. There's no question about that.
I watched that match. That match was...
It's a great match. Especially considering it was wedged in between, which some people consider a disappointing match with Triple H, even though I like that Hell in a Cell match, and the Brock Lesnar fucking terrible debacle. But for the next year, he's not going to be in the main event again. He's not going to be challenging for the title.
I believe he said he was billed to win against Triple H.
Yeah,
correct?
he was gonna take on Triple H, and he was going to win. Now, that's not a bad spot to be in. I feel that it would have built him to a place to be in the spot for the title. Now, who's to say that? Because they ended up giving that spot to Daniel Bryan. But if we remember, folks, what ended up happening, he ended up wrestling 2 matches that night, beating Triple H, and then going on to win the fucking title. Who's to say that same thing wouldn't have happened with Punk? Who's to say the same thing wouldn't have happened?
That's true. That is true.
And it bugs the living piss out of me that he goes on this whine fest saying, "Oh, I was only going to beat Triple H, one of the biggest stars in the history of the fucking sport, and the CEO of the goddamn company." One of the
He also said, sorry, go ahead. No, he also said that his year should have been 2 years, I believe 2 years ago before this past WrestleMania, and how this year is Daniel Bryan's year. Unfortunately for him, he's a vegetable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I don't agree with him on that. I think Daniel Bryan, one way or the other, Daniel Bryan should have been in the main event at last year's WrestleMania because he was the hottest thing in the company. CM Punk wasn't. He was cooling. That's the reality. CM Punk was cooling off, whether it be from injuries or from sustained limelight. Who knows? But
yeah, Daniel Bryan was the hot thing at the moment.
Yes.
And what you could have done, you could have had CM Punk beat Triple H, and then Daniel Bryan do the stuff that he was doing, find a way to get into that title match.
Yeah.
And then Punk finds a way to get himself in that match, and you could add a fatal 4-way.
Or instead, look, they just give the fucking finger to Batista. They find a way to take away his fucking number one contender match for WrestleMania, which they've done to other Royal Rumble winners in the past, Vince McMahon being one of them. They've done it. And instead of Batista versus Orton, you have CM Punk versus Orton, and then if Daniel Bryan wins the match like he against Triple H, then he gets thrust into make it a triple threat, just like they did. But instead
I actually would have
Batista,
really liked to see
CM
that.
Punk, it would have been fucking brilliant. It would have been brilliant. It would have worked perfectly. But no, we didn't get that because CM Punk, like a little fucking baby, walks home. And then he talks about how he was fired on his fucking wedding day. No, he wasn't. His contract expired, and they obviously couldn't resign the guy since he hadn't been to work for 6 months prior. He wasn't fired. Fucking baby. God.
Do you think they sent him the papers though on his wedding day just to take a shot?
Sure. Why not? Fuck. And I don't have a problem with that at all. Fuck.
He kind of just laughed it off too. I mean,
yeah, but to bring it up on a podcast that he's not getting money for, it all seems so fucking douchey and condescending. And you know what? The CM Punk marks, the fanboys are gonna eat it up. It's already happening. He's had
this built up. Like, he hasn't said anything for what, 11 months?
11 months. He hasn't said a word.
Yeah, why not get it all out? Say what you want to say.
There are better ways to do it. Don't do it on your buddy's podcast that's going to lob you softball questions. Do it on a guy who knows a little bit about the backstage politics. Do it on a guy who also has, by the way, it's not like JR has a lot of fucking love for the WWE right now. They don't push his podcast. In fact, they still take shots at him all the time. So,
yeah, maybe this will also open the door for him to actually do an actual interview.
Maybe, but I mean, he's not. But he's good CM Punk. He doesn't need to take money. He doesn't need the publicity. Why do I keep mispronouncing that word?
It's okay.
Publicity. Jesus. I'm sure I'm going to come off looking like an asshole and I'm a CM Punk hater and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not the case. I'm not a WWE mark. I do call him out when I feel it's warranted. I'm not one of these guys who fucking thinks they need to be buried for every little fucking thing, though. That's not who I am. And so I don't know. The bottom line is, what do you think overall of what happened with this interview? What do you think it accomplishes, if anything? And how much do you think that CM Punk is right here?
I think I'm maybe 70-30 on Punk's side here for the interview. I just felt that he did go on one of his best friends' podcasts, just knowing that he wouldn't get his stories twisted by whoever was interviewing him. I felt he thought it was going to be a safe move. He can get off what he wants to get off, and he doesn't have to talk about it again if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, no, I get that, but couldn't he have just released his own fucking something on his website?
He could have.
He could have just released a 15, 20-minute clip, but no, instead he talks about how he's not taking money, but he's going to get publicity for his fucking buddy's thing, which, again, I don't have a problem with him doing. I only have a problem with him.
State it.
Yeah, I have a problem with him hammering the flag of this good guy image of him about how he's not taking money for it. But he's doing the exact same thing in another way. So stating it is what bugs me. I just want to clear that up. So, I don't know. Do you think CM Punk's going to come back at any point? Do you see it happening?
I can definitely see it. I can see it happening.
Do you think that this interview burns any potential bridges?
Do I think it burned? Maybe for the time being, it might prolong his return. But did I use that word? Yeah, I think so. I think I did.
Might have.
I might have. I don't know.
I got a whiny dog in the background, so I'm not completely focused. But it's okay. Yeah, I think that somewhere down the road he comes back. I think the only thing that's going to get him back in the ring, though, at this point, right now, today, the only thing that would get him back is a WrestleMania match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think anything else will get him back into the ring. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
I think both sides were they did. I think both sides handled the whole Punk situation poorly. They didn't treat him the best way, but then Punk just took his ball and went home.
Yeah,
Screw you.
they didn't treat him the best way. They gave him a 340+ day fucking title reign. They made him the biggest goddamn name in the company. They gave him everything he fucking
Beat-
wanted, but yeah, they
beat
didn't
John
treat him
Cena.
correctly.
Beat John Cena in merch sales.
They beat John
Which I
Cena
believe-
in the ring numerous fucking times. They gave the guy everything. They gave
The
him an Undertaker match.
The WrestleMania main event was the big thing there.
Oh, go
just like,
fuck yourself, CM Punk.
Just like, I've done all this. I've had the title for over a year, but I don't get the WrestleMania main event.
Well, let's think about why he didn't fucking main event that year. Oh, I don't know. Cena and fucking Rock? Oh, big fucking surprise. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Drive me nuts.
Yeah, he even said, throw me, I can drop the title to Rock, but throw Cena and Rock in the main event is just a horrible idea. Just throw me in there and have somebody beat me in 5 minutes.
Yeah, which I wouldn't have had a problem with, but they wanted to build the sequel to the match they had the year before. And honestly, the second match that they had for the title made the first match a little more interesting in hindsight. So I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem. And considering that CM Punk had a fantastic match with The Undertaker, I have even a less problem with it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Well, this has been much longer than a 5-minute focus, but I didn't give anybody wrestling for a couple of days, so I feel they're probably appreciative of it. So I just want to give a quick shout-out. Thanks to Michael Park for Creators Corner yesterday. He did a good job. Sorry for the beginning of the episode where the music was kind of flighty. I fixed it. If you just go past it and just sit through it for 6 seconds, the music calms down. Quit complaining. It's
that Ryback
fine.
Picture's great.
Isn't it great? Let's shout it again. Ryback. I love the Ryback. I love this guy. I fucking love this guy.
I was so upset when he was the first one eliminated.
Yeah. Yeah. For Steve Cena, yeah, I was too.
Yeah, there were a couple instances in that match where people just went like, "What?"
Yeah.
Just, like Ryback was one of them. The place went nuts when Rusev was eliminated.
Yeah. Well, no. When Rusev eliminated himself, you mean?
That's true. Yeah.
He took a fucking swan dive through a table, which looked epic.
That did look epic. When Big Show knocked out Cena, that got a big pop.
Yeah, it did. And when Big Show knocked out Henry to kick off the match.
Yeah.
That got nobody saw that.
Nobody expected.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was an awesome experience.
I'm sure it was. I'm so glad that he went.
Could have done without that Divas tag team match though. Could have done without that.
I agree. That was horrible. But it's all
people
good.
were also pretty upset when AJ lost in 12 seconds.
That was funny. I was like, I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god, Jeff just had a fucking aneurysm. first he saw a lesbian kiss, and then she lost the belt. Oh, he's losing his shit.
Oh no! If I was sitting up close, you would have seen me getting pretty upset.
I'm sure. You got anything you need to plug?
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel myself. Just go to YouTube, search Grand Slam 87. Basically, what I do is I play a bunch of video games and just talk about random stuff. Lately I've had a theme of my Call of Duty teams sucking because they do. And if there's any of you out there who play PlayStation 4 and Call of Duty, my PlayStation ID is also Grand Slam 87 because I'm tired of having garbage teammates. I am tired of going 21-3 and we lose. Which I have that recorded, by the way, which you'll be seeing relatively soon. I also picked up WWE 2K15, which I'm having an absolute...
You're having a blast with it?
Oh my god, except when I face Rusev. That is not the first time I faced Rusev, because I play on hard difficulty too. I died. He destroyed me. The thing is, he hits you once, you're pretty much done.
Jesus.
He hits you once, because one attack that he does takes away a third to half my health bar.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then I've faced him 5 times already, and I've won 3 of them. So.
Well, that sounds good. Make sure you check out Jeff's site. It's fantastic. His channel is great. It's a lot of fun.
I also play NHL and MLB. I actually traded in Madden to get WWE. So.
Fuck Madden, fuck the NFL, fuck the Bears, fuck it all. I don't give a fuck anymore. By the way,
Rams-
this is this beautiful doggie that I am dog sitting. Look, her name is Stella. She's so cute. Oh, she's a good dog. Okay, sorry. Back to me. Back to me. Okay, so yeah. Oh, you'll be on Shot from the Point Live this week, correct?
Yes, I will be there this week.
Cool.
Be there for the whole show this week.
Awesome. So, yeah, that's going to wrap up our 5-minute focus, which was not today. But, hey, this was a big story. I want to talk about it. So that's what you got. Video every day. That's the thing here at Dead on Dave Productions. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments below, as always, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Keep the channel going, folks, because we're building something here, baby, and it's all because of you. So thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Oh, Friday Night SmackDown review. You're in, right?
Yeah.
Be sometime
Yes,
tomorrow.
I am.
Be sometime tomorrow. All right, so you got that to look forward to, kiddies, because your eye candy will be on once again. 2 days in a row. See, look how much I love the audience. I give you the beautiful, the gorgeous, the Adonis that is Jeff Huffman.
Yeah, I got my hair cut the other day. She cut it too short.
It looks kind of weird.
Yeah, well, she left it too long in the back, and if I would have fluffed up the front, I basically would have had a Shawn Michaels '90s mullet.
Nice.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to shorten that up a little bit, so she had to go all the way around again. I'm like, oh my god.
Nicely done. You got the Eddie Munster look going. It's okay. So we're gonna get out of here. Thanks everybody, and we will see you next time. Peace.